Hi, I'm Teddy Atlas. Want to talk to you guys again on the platform of dynamicstriking.com. Been doing these videos, and you guys have apparently been enjoying them because they're doing well. I want to thank you for that. The sales have been really good. I hope you guys are enjoying them and learning the things that I do them so you can enjoy and you can learn different things about the sweet science, boxing. This chat is going to be about, well, UFC, MMA. But it's all parallel, it's all very similar because it's fighting. And there's so much incorporated in fighting. And the part that I'm going to talk mostly about in the MMA is the striking, the standing, the one that is obviously very close to my sport, boxing. But the realm of fighting is, well, it's all the same. It's 75%, 80% this. It's the mental game. And the fight, it was a tremendous fight, lasted 2 rounds. I want to talk about recently was Poirier and Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, one of the great strikers in UFC history, and tremendous puncher, southpaw. And he had won over Poirier 6 or 7 years before he had knocked out Poirier in 1 round. And now they were fighting a rematch, like I said, 6, 7 years later. And, well, by this time, you guys know already, Conor McGregor, one of the greatest stars, well, maybe the biggest star, when everything that is encompassed in saying that somebody's a star, you know, the money that he's made, the fame, the glory. You got some great fighters in the UFC, but he is the biggest name. And so when he fights, everybody watches. And he's fighting Poirier, who's fought everybody, truly earned his position in the game. Really, he had an interim title. This is a guy who's he's fought everybody. And he's a tremendous striker too, real good puncher, and a southpaw too. And here's the interesting thing about the fight that I want to break down and visit with you guys, is that what he brought to the ring, to the octagon, he being Poirier, 7 years earlier when he lost, he didn't have that much more from a technical standpoint. He was very similar. He was still a southpaw, obviously. You know, he's still a good puncher. He was more mature physically, no doubt about it. But a lot of the things that he did were the same things. But what was different was this. He was a different person. He was more seasoned. He was more mature. He understood what the fight was about now. He was able to block out. There was too much noise, too much furniture in the room the first time, where he allowed himself to get involved in something that took him away from the concentration of what it was all about. Just a fight, a physical fight. But the mental stuff that had happened to him, from all the trash talking and the event and the magnitude of it and just everything, that's what I mean by the noise. There was too much noise in the room, in his head, which is the most important room in your body. And he didn't have, those things were controlling him. He didn't have the control that a fighter must always have. Somebody be successful in any endeavor, in any vocation, in anything in life. I like to connect the dots from boxing to life. In anything you do, you have to be able to eliminate everything and have to focus just on what the job at hand is. And at that point in Dustin's life, that wasn't the case. There was too many things going on where he wasn't in control of what he needed to be in control of himself. There were other things that were swaying him, moving him. And this time, and I had said on my podcast it's going to be a different story, because now he understood what it was that he needed to be in control of. His emotions, his feelings, his doubts, his imagination. Yeah, he understood those ninjas that came over the wall to attack us all when we're not seasoned enough. He understood them, he identified them. He knew who they were now, and he knew who he was. And he knew what mattered. How he felt didn't matter, what he did mattered. And he was able to put that kind of focus in place and control. I say it again, control in place. He used the same things that he had back 6 years ago, but he used them better. I just want to give that story. And he went out there, he did a magnificent job. He's in there with the best striker maybe ever. And first thing he does, him and his coach, great fight plan. Brilliant. He eliminates his legs. So you can't be a great striker if you have no foundation to strike from. So he does that. But he understood that McGregor, great strength was he had long arms, and he was set to punch, and he'd keep you at the end of his punches. So he didn't say at the end, he changed range, distance, like the old timers would say. You know, he took a walk downtown. He got out of range. He didn't stay. And he also understood McGregor was a great, great, great counterpuncher. So he didn't get caught lunging, coming in. He gave little feints. He made sure that he wasn't going to be susceptible to the strengths of McGregor. He wasn't, the first time when he fought him, he was just fighting. He was just swinging. It was chaos. He was there, but he wasn't there. You follow? This time he was there, and he was there, in control. And even in the first round, he went in, he got in close, he grappled with him, got him to the mat. You know, he sent a message. He lost the first round, but I remember watching, I was saying to myself, he's winning. Because he's getting to the place where he can build on for the second round. He's sending a message. This ain't the same. This is a different night, buddy. He did a brilliant job. And then he counterpunched the counterpuncher. He got the counterpuncher to give up some of that height because he couldn't get his way. And he gave up some of that reach. And when he gave up some of that reach, he was close enough to, bang, get caught with a counter. I don't know if it was a right hook or left hand. But he got him with that. And then, as great as, and McGregor's great, but as great as he is as a promoter, a salesman, a great puncher, great striker, as I said already, well, Poirier is great at something. He's a great finisher. Just like Jack Dempsey in boxing, and great finisher. Joe Louis, maybe the greatest of all time. Tyson, great finisher. I'm telling you, Poirier is there in his game as a finisher. He hurts you, gets rid of you. And he did. Just want to bring that story, how important it is, how he reversed what happened from 6, 7 years earlier, because he grew here.